Welcome back to Manor Lords. At the end of the last episode, I was starting to be curious about agriculture. I wanted to, right now my people are dependent on meat and berries that they're gathering in the forest, and your capacity to get meat and berries, there's a few ways that it can go up a little bit, but it really isn't sustainable as a solution for a growing town. You need something better, and that means farming. So this episode, we're going to get into farming, which I've learned a little bit about playing in my other parallel games. And I was also going to explore some of the we've got this vegetable garden going in this person's backyard. There's a lot of other stuff we can do in backyards, including things like cobbling. And so we're going to also try to get into that, like the reasons to do that, which things are good choices, that sort of stuff. But let's start with the whole question of a farm. So right now it's July, which is a bad time to plant. If we started planting now, we probably wouldn't get hardly anything by harvest season. So what we're going to do is we're going to set up a farm for next spring. So we're going to go through all winter having not really accomplished much with our farm. But then next year, we're going to go through a whole planting season and see how that goes. So to build a farm, the first thing you want to look at is the fertility of the ground. So here, emmer is the main kind of wheat that you can grow. And you can see that I've actually built right in the middle of the most fertile area for that, which is clever, I guess. We've got some really high fertility areas over here, really high fertility areas over there. Ooh, a bandit camp. We're going to go do that. We're going to go look at that in just a minute. Flax. This is what you use to make clothing and some forms of armor. And so flax, it looks like it's most growable here and also really far away from town over there. And then barley is how you make ale, which is an important sort of high-level consideration for like growing your town. Fancy people only want to move in a place that has a tavern. And it looks like we've got a spot here. So what I want to do is think of this area up here as being my flax and barley area. And we'll move into farming that area in a bit. Those are like higher level concerns. The first thing I want to worry about is wheat. So what I want to do is I want to build myself a farmhouse in a place that's good for farming all of these areas, because a farmhouse can actually support a lot of different people all working in different fields. So this is the farmhouse. So what I want to do is let's place it right here, sort of between these two different farming areas. And then let's start defining some fields. Fields are defined a lot like the residence plots. You just draw four corners and then it sort of fills in the rest. And so what we're going to want is 3 fields. The reason we want 3 fields is because you can engage in crop rotation, and crop rotation always has 3 steps. So if you want to have a consistent fertile output of wheat, then you need to have 3 different fields that are sort of rotating on at a staggered pace. So let's say that our 3 fields, like one field will start here. Maybe go to that corner and come down. It's almost a Morgan, which is, I guess, a measure of field size. Let's do another one up along the road there. And then a third one over here next to the farmhouse. So we got our 3 fields here, and let's set them all up for crop rotation. So this one, let's have this one start out fallow, and then we'll grow wheat on it for 2 seasons. Let's have this one start out with wheat, and then we go fallow for the 2nd season, and the 3rd season is wheat again. And let's have this one be wheat for the first 2 seasons, and then fallow the 3rd season. So every season, we're going to have 2 of these fields growing wheat and 1 of them fallow. But it's going to rotate, because basically each year that the ground is fallow, it gains fertility. And each year that it is actually growing a plant, it loses fertility. Okay, so this is our farmhouse. Now, I don't remember what I bought. So I did buy the heavy plow extension. And so what that means is I can actually assign these guys to use an ox to plow the fields, which makes the plowing step happen faster. To do that, I think I probably want to have a dedicated ox over here in close proximity. So let's go to logistics, and let's place a new hitching post here so that we can purchase an ox to dedicate to this work. So we'll stick that right there. and then we will let people start to build this. But before we do that, that announcement about the bandit camp and another ruler's army, that's important. Let's look at that. So it looks like we've got, okay, so we live up here, and this bandit camp is all the way across the world from us. Are there any other ones that are closer? I don't think so, but I'm pretty sure that the Baron, who is, by the way, I should talk about our competitor here. So this this red area is my area. This yellow area is owned by Hildebolt von Berut, or Baronrut, or something like that. Anyway, this guy, he doesn't live here. He's not local like me. He lives in some other place, and he just wants to claim this land just to be a jerk. He's not even doing anything with it. But he will defend it to, with the lives of his soldiers. And it looks like what he's probably doing here. Oh no, this isn't him. This is brigands. Okay, interesting. Okay, so these guys might actually be a separate threat from this bandit camp. So what you want to do, basically, the reason to go after bandit camps is to build up your influence. Influence is the currency that you use to claim new territories if you want to have multiple villages. And it also gets you gold in your treasury, which, later on in the game, you have other ways like taxes to get gold in your treasury. But that is what you use to buy mercenaries. But right now, I don't have any gold in my treasury, and it's going to be a while until I have some. And so the spoils of war are another way to get that gold early in the game. So ideally, I should try to head down there and take that guy out. The problem is I don't remember what military situation I was in at this stage. Okay, good. I did actually get some spear militia. So I'm going to rally my troops, and I'm going to rally them to the King's Road at the bottom of my town. So what that's going to do is, as we speed up time, a bunch of people from every household are going to gather to pick up the spears that were given to me for free as part of the tutorial. They're going to grab their spears and gather into a military unit at the bottom of my map. And so I think this is actually one of the reasons why it's really interesting and kind of brilliant that they decided to handle the population in terms of households, because basically you have each of these settlements, each of these little burgages, each of these burgages, they have not just one person living in them, but a household of people. And then when you're assigning jobs to people, you assign an entire household to do that job. And so what that means is you can call your banners, you can summon all of your people to go to war in the militia. And what that means is a person from each family gathers together to do that. Sometimes I think maybe two people from a family, but there's always somebody left behind to keep working on the village. And even if you lose your entire army in a disastrous battle, you haven't lost all your households. All of the jobs keep getting done. They're not done as quickly or efficiently, but they still get done. It doesn't mess up your economy to have lost your people. But you're also not required to hire mercenaries from the outside or anything. You can have this authentic depiction of how these towns would defend themselves with local militias without disrupting the economy. So I think it's a really great way for it to work. So we've got 5 unassigned families who are going to be working on building this stuff. And actually, we've got enough unassigned people. You know what else I should do? Very early on, we decided that we wanted to have an apiary, a place to keep our apes. And we hadn't actually built one yet. And I think over here by the farm might be a really good place for it. So actually, where should I put it? I don't know where I should put it. Maybe behind the farmhouse. Let's put it behind the farmhouse. And let's draw a little road. There we go. So we'll build an apiary too. We'll have just a whole farming operation over here. Farming bees, farming wheat. It'll be great. By the way, I should say hi to some people who have joined me since I got started. Motorsport126 is here. Kiwiburn is here. Malatour is here. And of course, we had Raneth Gordon Cogs here at the very beginning. Thanks for joining me for this. Okay, so my spearmen are gathering here. Let's give them a second to settle. Make sure there's no stragglers. And now, let's have a look at that enemy army real quick. I don't know what they're doing. It feels like they're coming after me. Okay, this is making me nervous because I really want to go after this. But if I send my army all the way out here, maybe get some people killed, then I might not do a great job of defending against these guys. So that makes me kind of nervous. But I also love some money I could spend on militia. I mean, on mercenaries. Ah, this is a big decision. Okay, you know what? Let's do it. Let's send them out. And actually, let's try to go at this angle. Okay, so they're going to start going. So Eternal Zagraz asks, is this game okay in early access? I mean, how many bugs did you face? So I faced the main kind of bug that I've been facing. Aside from just, I mean, there's a lot of missing content in the game where they just are labeled like, hey, this is using placeholder text, or this is, you know, there's a bunch of things here, but most of them are locked. There's a bunch of that in the game because it's in early access. The main bugs that I've encountered are pathfinding bugs for the AI, where characters, like for instance, I've got this one in my other game, I've got this one house that just cannot find firewood. And I'm like, your neighbors can find firewood. I've moved a firewood stall right in front of your home. Why can't you find firewood? But they just can't. And so they're just always cold, always sad, never able to progress. No idea why. Somehow they just can't find firewood. And similarly, I've occasionally had cases where like the crop in a field would be lost because for whatever reason the harvesters just couldn't find it. Just never got to it. And so things like that can be a little bit annoying. I also once had somebody get stuck in a stable, like the ox backed its butt up against them and they couldn't get out and they were trapped and starving and cold. And I eventually just knocked down the stable to let them out. I also one time had my entire town burned. And a bunch of people took refuge in the church and got stuck there. Or at least that's what it looked like happened. Later on, I started having my doubts about whether that was the explanation. It could have been they were just hanging out there because they had other jobs and had nothing to do. But in any case, now and then that can happen. And that's a really hard problem to solve, especially at this scale. So I've got a lot of patience and tolerance for that in early access. But by and large, other stuff in this game seems to work just fine. So I am not disappointed that I've played this game in early access. I feel like I've made a good choice. So there you go. All right. So while people are now, I could speed up time. I'm nervous about speeding up time too much while there's armies in the field. But I want to think: is there anything else that I want to try to do in this moment? So we've got a lot of unassigned people, and so I know one other thing that I was thinking of doing at the end of the last session was having a cobbler. And the reason I was thinking of having a cobbler is because we got 50 leather that we're not doing anything with in our amongst our crafting materials. And making shoes is a thing you can do with leather. And so, like, I could open this up and be like, oh, wait, I can't. Why can't I? Oh, burgage plot level too low. So, right. Okay, so the first thing I should actually do is raise the level of some of my burgage plots. Now that we've actually got water access, a fully built church, 2 different kinds of food, clothing, which is what the leather is, and a fuel supply, we can actually upgrade these things to level 2. So let's start there. Let's upgrade these bits of my town to level 2. And as a result of that, I'm going to be able to make them artisans. So we'll make a cobbler. We'll learn how that works and what that's actually for in just a bit. So let's see. Where is my... Okay, my spear people are making some progress. These guys are making progress too, but slower than my spear people. So I feel like that's a good sign. So let's speed up time. Get these guys down here. But let's keep our eyes out for those brigands getting too close. Because in a previous game, I actually have suffered the consequences of getting hit by raiders, which is basically they burn your entire town down. And so you have to rebuild everything. Now, the sort of blueprints or whatever are still left behind. Like, they don't just make you redesign your whole town. But you do have to spend the time and effort that it takes to actually do all those repair and build actions. Okay, so now suddenly this game becomes Total War. So you've got your little groups of guys facing off. There's a few little UX things that Total War has that this game doesn't have. Like the ability to, at least as far as I know, I don't think if you have multiple troops in the field, I don't think you can see the destinations of the other units while you've got one unit selected. But there are other things that it definitely has in common. It's got these, like, you can sort of decide how deep to make your ranks. Hitting people from behind to cause them to break is a big part of the design. And these guys have stamina. You notice, I think that's morale and stamina listed on those bars. Their stamina is low because they just crossed the world, whereas these guys are fresh. So there's more of me, and I'm better equipped, but these guys are fresher. And so it's kind of a toss-up how this is going to go. I'm pretty sure that each time you lose a person in battle, you also lose their equipment. And so the number of spears that I have is going to start dropping as I lose characters. Luckily, looks like I've got the upper hand here so far. But yeah, my number of spears is going to start going down. I'm going to have to start thinking about how I'm going to be replacing these spears, which does actually get into artisans and stuff. So the same mechanic that's going to get us shoes from the cobbler is also going to get us spears for these guys. So yeah, so Eternal Zagros is asking, so should I wait till they fix the bugs before I play the game? Hey, I only lost one person. Awesome. Zagros is wondering if they should wait to play the game until the bugs are fixed. That really is up to you. Like, I'm glad that I started playing the game earlier. Like, I don't feel like the bugs that I've run into have been fatal enough to make me regret playing. But there are some players for whom like every bug is such an irritant to them that they can't enjoy a game if it isn't below a certain threshold in terms of bugs. And so you make that call yourself, Zagros, about what kind of player you are. For me, I've been really happy with the game so far, even in spite of the bugs I've run into. So yeah, let's again double check those brigands. Ooh, I don't see them anymore. Oh wait, oh, there they are. Oh, hey, they're not going after me. They're just being weirdos over there. Okay. So yeah, so I think that what's going on here is, I think this is actually a scripted event that's tied to the tutorial. Oh wait, is there another? Oh, it's just them. Okay. I think this is just a thing that happens to just teach you how fighting works. So I think that these guys are actually going to wait until, oh, you can't actually see. At the bottom of my screen here, there's actually a mission here that says the raiders are going to attack in 200 days. So I think these guys are just going to wander around until it's time to attack me. And so I think I genuinely just don't have to worry about them until then. So I'm going to take that as an assumption, and I'm going to speed things up and take over this little spot here. So this says, when searching through the enemy belongings, you find a stash of goods. They can be sent to your people who surely need them, but it's your right to keep it. So I think I'm actually going to put it in my treasury in case an upcoming fight requires me to grab mercenaries. So now I've got money in my treasury, which is separate from money in my people's pockets. So I could have put it in their pockets. That would have made them happy and given me some options. But I've decided to put it here instead. Now, that does mean that it's going to be slower for me to set up things like having a cobbler. So we'll have to see how that plays out. But I'm going to send the spearmen back. You can't disband your spearmen until they're back in their home territory. And if you have multiple territories, each army has to go to its own home territory before you disband it. So I've sent it back here. Whenever it arrives, we'll disband it. And then we'll have more workers again. In the meantime, what is going on with my constructions? Hey, folks. Are we going to be building something? Of course, the fact that I got my entire wood operation all the way at this end of the world probably isn't helping. Because they got to drag wood all the way over here before they can build anything. I might want to consider, I mean, they have cleared out this area pretty well. I might want to consider moving my logging camp. And I don't know if I don't remember if I've actually done a move yet. But it's really straightforward. You just grab the thing, and you decide where do you want to move it to. So since, this is going to be an area we're farming, clearing out a bunch of trees in this area, not a bad plan. So let's put my new wood, oh, that'll uproot trees. That's a waste. There we go. We'll put it here, and then we'll build a little road connecting it. And so now it's already disassembled the old one. The old one is gone. It did leave its pile of supplies here, so we can keep sort of drawing from these logs while we're building it. But now we're going to build a new one over here, which is going to be closer to a lot of, I mean, I guess it's about equidistant from most of the places where I'm building, but it'll be close to the farm, in case I want to build more stuff near the farm. I don't know. Oh, hey, here's my buddies. Let's disband them. Everybody scatter and go back to work. Back to work. Get your stuff done. So now suddenly, construction is going faster because we got more workers in all those households. Hey there, Orthaus. Thank you for joining us. Okay, so this one's still under construction. So this little like regional wealth value, this is the money you actually can spend on money type things in your village, as opposed to this, which is only spent on military stuff, basically. And so each of these burgage plots each of the level 2 burgage plots is going to generate one of these per month, which doesn't sound like a lot, but once you have enough burgage plots at leveled up and you're letting time pass at a fairly steady clip, it does catch up. It does end up being a fair amount. But the other way that you can make money is through trade. And actually, is there a third way? No, it's mostly through trade. It's through trade. And so that's something we might want to learn about today too, because that's what the cobbler is all about, really. So you've got to, if you build a cobbler, they will make shoes, and shoes do satisfy the clothing requirement that people have here. And so they're, having shoes is good for leveling up your people, making them happier, giving them better standard of living. Oh, yay! Settlement level increased. But there isn't anything else to do with shoes. Like, you don't need to do anything else with shoes. And so shoes are a really good thing, or like early game thing to sell, because you get the hides to make the leather just from hunting, which is your first food source. And then you can just start turning that leather into shoes and selling them and raise your wealth. Okay, so we just leveled up. And now our next level is going to require burgage plots of level 3 or higher, which is going to take us some time to get to. So we're not going to get another one of these development points for a little while. So we should figure out which one of these we want to grab. So if we had very limited fertile land, rye would be a good thing to drive towards, because it's basically a hardier version of wheat that you can grow in places that we can't grow. But we're actually doing fine on fertility, so I think we don't need this. Now we could go with bakeries, so we could basically make bread more efficiently, or fertilization. Huh. You know what? I haven't even tried this before. That might be worth checking out. The other option is trade logistics, which lets you buy things more efficiently. But actually, let me have a look at my meat source real quick. What kind of meat source do I have? Oh, okay. I've got a rich meat source, which means that I can actually... So meat becomes kind of just a non-important part of your diet at some point, because you just can't get it fast enough to feed all your people. But the rich source replenishes itself more quickly. And so you can actually make it more viable. So maybe, I'll explore fertilization on my own at some point and maybe come back to it. Let's do trapping, because it raises your meat income, which it makes it even better if you've got good hunting. And then over here, advanced skinning lets you double the amount of meat harvested by hunters. And that means you can basically keep your meat source viable for a lot deeper into the game. So let's go with that. And I don't remember if there was... I don't think there's something I actually have to do to activate that. I think you just get, like... this is actually one of the problems with the user experience here, is that there isn't really a way to show me what they're generating. Like, I just unlocked this trapping thing. There's nothing here on the hunting camp that tells me what benefit I'm getting from trapping. In fact, there's nothing anywhere, as far as I can tell, that actually reports that benefit back to me. I believe them when they say that I have it, but I don't have a way to check on it and evaluate it and compare it to other things. Okay, so winter is coming, so I really hope these folks get around to building the dang farmhouse. Let's up its priority, but I don't think there's anything competing with it anymore. I think we're just taking forever to get logs to it. Now, it doesn't help that we only have the one ox. So, actually, good. Actually, I'm glad that they're bringing this first, because getting a second ox actually feels pretty important. Okay, I would really like to get this built before springtime, though, because I want to have a full growing season. So, we're really just We're just waiting for the ox to be finished with stuff. Okay. Where are we keeping that hitching post? It's right here. So I only have space to safely keep one ox here. I'm wondering, though, let's upgrade this to a small stable. And what that'll let us do is keep a second ox so that we're not just waiting for oxen whenever we're trying to do this stuff. Oh, and good. They finished this thing. So let's also order another ox. It'll take a while to get here. But now we'll have a single ox here, and we'll have 2 oxes housed here. And that'll make us a lot more efficient. Oh, they're working on the apiary. Oh, yes, I got a place to keep my apes. All right, so now we got a beekeeper. And now, one thing, you can assign people to work full-time at the stable. I'm not sure what that does exactly. Like, does that mean that rather than a worker at a building needing to come and grab the ox themselves? Oh, look, my new ox showed up. Instead of them having to, like, come and get the ox themselves to do the job, they just summon an ox from, like, basically the full-time ox keeper is summoned to do the job for them, and it makes it more efficient that way? I'm not actually sure how it works. Hey there, Nowanmai. Thank you for joining us in the chat. Okay, the farmhouse is done. Good. We've still got all of winter ahead of us, which means we have time to add a plowing station. So we're going to do that because that's going to let us plow the fields more quickly by taking advantage of oxen. And actually, let's upgrade that as well. And then I think we've gone through some sawn planks. Not that many of them, but let's start sawing planks again. Though actually, okay, the saw pit being way over here, for now that's okay because there's a pile of logs right next to it, but we should move the saw pit to be close to the new location of the logging camp eventually so that it can more quickly get access to the raw resources it needs. Let's see here. What else do we have here? My hunting camp. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Now, one thing I learned, originally I assumed that the Woodcutter's Lodge was taking logs that were felled by the logging camp and turning them into firewood. That's not what's going on. They actually fell trees themselves. And so keeping them here to continue felling these trees is actually a good move. Sort of spreading them out. Originally, I thought I wanted to keep the Woodcutter's Lodge right next to the logging camp, but I think that actually sort of it sort of destroys the trees a lot faster in the same area to keep them together. So now I actually try to split them apart. Okay, so now about half the time until the raiders attack has passed. Actually, okay, now that we've got these burgage plots ready, let's start looking at what other jobs these people can do. So last time we talked about getting a cobbler, which could be valuable for making money and for satisfying people's clothing requirements. Because notice, I needed 1 clothing stall supply in order to level this up to level 2. To get to level 3, we need another source of clothing. And so shoes will satisfy that. And so getting a cobbler is a step towards that, but it's also a step towards making money. But one thing that happens, and that you really have to bear in mind is, when you take a burgage plot and make it an artisan, you'll notice on this there's a split between these 2 categories. These agricultural activities on the left, this is something the family does in their spare time, and it doesn't stop them from doing other jobs. These over here convert the home into an artisan's house, and the only job those people can do is the job that's here. And so it takes them out of this pool, and it just moves them permanently into the assigned category. And so I've got 4 extra people right now, which is okay. I can afford to devote a couple of them to being artisans. And I've got enough planks to do it. I've got enough money to do it. So what I want to do is I want to get a cobbler's workshop and a blacksmith's workshop. So we'll go cobbler here and blacksmith here. And then once they're done, we will have a look at what they can produce. And I don't know if I'll be able to get any more spearmen equipped before these raiders show up, but I'd like to try. Let's speed things up again. Oh, but once my farm is ready to go, I'm kind of going to want to have some more people to help run it. So I think I want to add just a couple of more houses to move people into. So let's... Actually, yeah, let's extend the road network just a little bit. And let's put a little cross street there. And so one thing that you can do intentionally is try and... Here, let's curve this road around here. One thing you do intentionally is try and have the biggest backyards you possibly can in a burgage plot, which will help specifically with one kind of plot, which is this kind. That's got the vegetable garden back here. So this vegetable garden, it's nice and all. It's not going to be producing a lot of vegetables. In fact, there's one vegetable in my stores right now, based on these people having farmed vegetables. But if you deliberately go for a very large burgage plot, you can end up with a ton of vegetables going into your economy, and that can be good. So what I'm thinking I might want to do is let's reserve some space here for market stalls. Oh, that's only a couple. Hold on. Let's go a little bigger than that. Yeah, let's reserve some space here for market stalls, because, like I said, one of the bugs that I sometimes run into is people have trouble pathing to the market to get their stuff, or somehow or another they have trouble finding stuff from the market. So rather than doing a very large market, which is what I've done in my first area, the large central market, I've been trying to do smaller markets that are more spread out to see if that makes a difference. I'm not sure if it will. Oh, so Orthouse is saying that he actually got a survivor in State of Decay 2 with a voice they're not supposed to have, and what that means is they're missing a lot of lines. They've got a voice that's only supposed to go to NPCs, and so they're missing a lot of lines, and so they're actually just not able to participate in conversations normally. That's funny. Okay, so yeah, so let's build some more houses here, and we very deliberately gave them an extremely deep backyard, which means they've got a lot of space to have vegetable gardens. Now, we could go with only 3 houses in this space, one of which can house extra people, just because that looks neat, and that means one of them will have a really huge backyard. But that also doesn't seem just necessary. It looks neat, though. I just love how just weird and neat this game. So I'm going to do this. This is an inefficient decision, but I'm going to do this weird configuration just because I think it'll look quaint and adorable. And that's fine. I'm allowed to do that. Okay, so let's speed up time again. So now we're down to only 2 unassigned workers. And so that's going to make the farm. That's not quite enough to run a good farm. Oh, wait. I actually just realized I only have 1 unassigned family for the farm. Now, one thing I could do is take a person off the ox, because I don't know what the ox person does exactly. Another thing I can do too is, now that I've got... Oh, I don't have enough wealth to buy another ox here. Dang. All right. We need to get some wealth. But it does look like we've got our cobbler shop set up. And so are we actually producing... Are we cobbling? Yes, we have a shoe. We've got a shoe amongst our commodities. And so I think that means that... Is there also like a cobbler's stall, like a clothing stall with shoes in it? Yes, there's a clothing stall with shoes in it over here. And so that means that for a lot of people, or at least for somebody, yes, well, no, somebody is going to have, there we go. Because we got 1 shoe at 1 store, this plot has satisfied their second clothing requirement. So cool. So for right now, that's what that's doing, is fulfilling that clothing requirement. We'll build up a nice little stock of shoes, and then we'll start selling shoes to make money. But yeah, so we're not going to start planting until March or maybe April, and so we got a couple of months. And so actually, one of the smart things that I could do is upgrade more of my burgage plots so that they're making money. Oh, Goldhoff is being claimed. Which one is Goldhoff? Goldhoff is a territory, and it is... Is it this one? Okay, so The Baron is claiming this territory. I could oppose him. I could say, aha, you have to fight me for it. But I only have the one unit of spearmen, and the Baron is well equipped. So I'm basically at the Baron's mercy at this stage. I can defend myself if he tries to claim my territory, but I kind of have to ignore him right now until I get a bigger army. So we'll just kind of let this happen while we watch these guys. So we've only got one family assigned to construction. Which I guess I could... We've got enough sawing going on right now. We got enough planks. So maybe I'll set that. And then actually, how are we... Oh, our berries. Yeah, our berries are exhausted for the winter. So we don't need to have somebody working there. Okay, so now we got 3 construction families. And so they should go a little quicker upgrading these, which should get us a little bit more money. We have got some more money. So I think one more season or one more month should give us the $20 that it takes to get ourselves an ox. I was looking around at all my stuff. Oh, we got our logging camp. Actually, let's start chopping logs again. You notice, see, the apiary is working-ish. I think people are just eating their honey real fast, though. So we're not seeing a lot of honey in the stores yet. I really like watching them just build stuff here. So, unfortunately, I can't watch it happen quickly while I'm down here in the world. But I still love looking at this perspective, right? I do wish I could get my character to face camera, because he's just always facing away. And I want to, like, have him basically take selfies in front of his town. So I'm gonna head on down here. It's weird, like, I've got a picture of this place in my head from the top-down map. And so I kind of know which way to go see my farm. There's my farm. Someone's running across my fields. Oh, it looks like, oh, the snow is starting to melt. Yeah, so we got our little stable here. Got our little farm. I like our little gate here. Look at this. Oh, I can even go inside? Oh, look at this. I love this game. All right. So, anyway, let's speed this up again. AP Vision, I'm actually not sure what you're talking... AP Vision is talking about a bug in State of Decay 2 that involves error code 3. And I'm not actually sure what that bug is. Sorry, I haven't gotten that one myself, and I'm not really in the loop for reports on stuff like that. So if you wanted to, like, DM me on Twitter or something, or tweet at me so I can find it more easily later, because Twitch messages, unfortunately, are ephemeral. I could try to ask about it. Oh, a multiplayer connectivity issue. Those are so hard to... Man. Yeah. Those are hard to solve sometimes, because sometimes it's not entirely on us. Sometimes it's something else. So I don't know. But I mean, I can definitely ask, you know, what's going on. Oh, new bandit camp. This one time at bandit camp? Okay. So we can go after the bandit camp, but we are closer now to the date when those raiders are supposed to attack us. So this is a little even sketchier than the last one I did. But again, if we fill up our treasury, we could get some mercenaries. So maybe we're fine. So you know what? I'm gonna give it a try. Oh, and actually, one thing I just realized, we do have our blacksmith now, but and the blacksmith can make spears. The problem is we don't have any iron. We got no iron. And so what we're going to need to do is set up a mine over here. Where's mines? There it is. Let's set up a mine over here. And connect it to the road. So we'll build a mine, and then we'll also have a bloomery. I don't know why it's called that, but a bloomery is a place where you turn raw iron into iron slabs. You kind of smelt it, basically. You turn the iron ore into slabs of pure iron. So... okay, thank you, AP Vision. Okay, so we'll build this, and we'll start feeding. So right now, actually, I built this blacksmith prematurely because the blacksmith is sitting here, can't do anything. The shoe. Now we now have 18 shoes, however. Oh, and we've got $23, so we can buy an ox. Let's buy an ox. And so that's going to come in later. But yeah, okay, so but we are creating enough shoes. So let's go over to trade, and let's build ourselves a trading post. Now, the trading post, so the trading post, people will come in on the King's Road to the trading post. And so let's put it fairly close to where that happens. I think maybe what I want to do is have a little road that comes off this road. And connects up here, and then put the trading post over here. Because you also want it to be close to your other commodities and things. So let's build our trading post. Right there. And what we're going to be able to do is set up a trade route where every time I've got a surplus of shoes, I start selling shoes for money, and that money will go into here. Now, setting up the trade route in the first place also costs this money, and so I'm going to need to build it up again. Okay. Oh, right. This guy. So let's send him where... okay, so... oh, it looks like the Baron is going after that spot. Let's... so the Baron isn't attacking me, but the Baron is going to go try to fight these brigands. However, this is a fun thing that can happen. Like, you can totally kill steal the Baron. Let me explain. So we've got this bandit camp here, and we can get a lot of influence and money for defeating it. Unfortunately, the Baron has beat me to the punch. The Baron has got a bunch of troops that are headed down there to deal with the brigands. However, this is kind of funny. You can totally kill steal the Baron, because once he gets here, these brigands will go out to attack him on the field, and while he's fighting them, you can sneak in from behind and snake the actual camp, which is where the rewards are. So I've got my spear militia coming in. But I think I'm going to tell him to stop for just a sec. Because I kind of want to make sure that it's the Baron who gets the attack, who triggers the attack from the brigands. So let's speed up time. You got to be careful, though, because... oh, there we go. There we go. You see that? Okay, so they just took off. They're going after the Baron. So now... actually, I probably waited too far away. But we're going to run in here while they're fighting. We're going to run in and snake the rewards. So you can see they're all positioning themselves for the fight. Meanwhile, my guys are coming in here. Now, normally, the brigands would come out and stop me, and I wouldn't be able to just go straight for, the enemy's gate is down, because they would intercept me and I wouldn't be able to move. But now, I've got it! And I'm going to... you know what? This time, I'm going to send the resources to my town, because we're trying to set up some trade routes. So yeah, we've done that. Now let's head home real quick, just in time to get raided, most likely. But we have not started hostilities with the Baron yet, so these armies are not a danger to me until I actually try to resist one of his claims. All right, so... by the way, sorry, AP Vision, that I haven't been responding to the rest of your stuff. I mean, yeah, I'll definitely try to get back to you on if there's any kind of resolution to your issue. But, I'm for now, I'm trying to stay focused on Manor Lords for the benefits of all audiences, present and future. Okay, yeah. So I've gained some regional wealth now from claiming that bandit camp. So now I've got 203 to work with, which is great. I've also got some new residents here because these folks have moved in. So now we've got these new burgage plots. I'm going to have them all be vegetable gardens. Vegetable garden, vegetable garden. Ooh, additional living space, and then vegetable garden. Additional living space means 2 families can live here, which is great. But yeah, so they're obviously not going to be planting right now because it's the middle of winter. But next spring, they're going to plant gardens out here, and I'll actually get a much more significant set of vegetables coming into my food. So yeah, so berries and meat are working for us so far. That's not going to last forever. So I'm really hoping that we can actually get some real farming going on out here. So I'm going to add as many people. Basically, as soon as it rolls over into spring, I want to have as many people ready to go, ready to get out and farm as I possibly can. Where are my spearmen? There are my spearmen. Okay, so they're exhausted. They can't run anymore. I was about to say, like, running them home first before disbanding them is usually good because they can move faster as a unit than they do as individuals just moseying around. But now that they're exhausted, I don't think that's true. So I might just disband them as soon as they get inside my territory. I think they have to get all the way past that red line. There we go. Disband unit. All right. So we got oxen moving stuff around. So Kiwibird asks, do I know if this game is going to be on console? So it is on... I think it's on Game Pass for PC. I personally... Oh, another ruler's army was sighted. What's that? Oh, that's... I think these might be my raiders. Or are they... I can't tell who these are. These might be my raiders coming after me. But yeah, I don't know if this is going to be on console. This strikes me as the kind of game that would be extraordinarily difficult to do on console because the interface is so mouse-focused. But people have done crazier things. But yeah, it would surprise me. Okay, so I think these guys are attacking me. And unfortunately, I do not have enough troops just locally to deal with them. So what I'm probably going to have to do is summon some mercenaries. So let's have a look at our options here. So by the way, so different ways that you can get armies. One way is to, get the iron deposit mined, the bloomery set up, craft your own, swords and spears internally. Another way to do it is to buy it from your trading post. So that could work. And then another way is to summon mercenaries with money from your treasury. So buying gear, that comes out of your regional wealth. But buying mercenaries comes from your treasury. So let's let these guys get just a little bit closer. Unless... Oh, wait. Oh, they are going away. Okay, cool. Okay, these are not my raiders. These are... I think... These are the Baron's men? Or they're whoever was going to go attack those... whoever fought those brigands with the camp that I ganked. That's who that is. Okay, I thought this was somebody else because... Well, I assumed that they were from the Baron, but they didn't look like they were from the Baron. So I was like, okay, but whatever. Okay, good. They're not attacking me. Excellent. Well, I'm glad I didn't buy some mercenaries. That would have been stupid. So now it is February. It's going to be March soon. You can see there's a lot of melting going on. We're going to be doing some farming real soon. It looks like we have built our additional family slot here. So we're going to now build the vegetable garden. And so it looks like between our farm and our new vegetable gardens, we are ready for the new season. And I think my apiary probably only produces in, like, spring, too. And so I think that's probably why we're not seeing honey coming in yet. We do have our trading post now. So let's have a look at trade. So if we assign a person to this trading post, to manage the trade. I think that's necessary. I don't really know. We can look at all these different trade routes that are possible. So minor trades are just basic resources. Those are very cheap to start trading. You don't even have to pay for a trading route. Things like commodities, you do have to pay in advance to get a trading route. So we've got 33 shoes in storage. And so if we buy a trade route in this, it costs 48. And you can actually, there's a development specialty you can do that reduces the cost of this significantly. But I can pay 48 to start a trade route in shoes. And then I can say, I'm going to export this. And what I'm going to do is make sure that I always keep a dozen shoes on hand. So we can sort of like fulfill that requirement to sort of make people happy by having extra clothing stalls. We'll keep 12 shoes on hand, but we'll sell everything above 12 shoes. And so now that means that there's going to be a trader summoned who's going to come to town, and when they come to my trading post, they're going to try to do whatever trades they can do. And so they're going to buy as many shoes as they can buy. They'll give me the money for those shoes. But at the same time, another thing I might want to consider is trying to bring in some weapons. Now, I can make my own spears. Probably, using the resources I'm about to get. Things like helmets, though, I can't easily get. Now, these prices here you're seeing, this is the price I could sell this item for. This is the price I could spend to get the item. This is also something that you can make better with development points, but right now, it's pretty expensive to get this stuff. So I'm thinking about whether or not I want to do this, because it could be very expensive. I think helmets are something that will take me a while to get. Oh, but it's also a really expensive route. Mail armor is even more expensive. You know, I'm going to hold off on military stuff. I'm going to see what I can produce internally, because that just does seem really expensive. So yeah, let's speed up time again. Let's see how our bloomery hasn't even been finished building yet, so we definitely don't have any iron coming in. But now we might. Okay, so now, oh, enemy unit. What enemy unit? Ah, these are probably the raiders they were warning me about. Where are they relative to my stuff? They're up there. Okay. Yeah, these are raiders. They're coming in to fight me. Is it just the one unit? If it's just the one unit, I'm not worried about mercenaries. Because while I only have approximately as many people as they do. Oh, no. Crap. There's two of them. Okay, that's a little tougher. Now, let's look at the mercenaries we can get. The cheapest ones are just the Wayward Sons. They're only bows, though, which is kind of limiting. But these will arrive in Goldhof, these will arrive in Selbitz, and these will arrive in Waldbrand. So Goldhof, Selbitz, and Waldbrand. Who's going to be close enough? Goldhof and Waldbrand are fairly close. Selbitz, way too far away. Goldhof, I might actually be able to pull off. So let's see if we get mercenaries in Goldhof. Which mercenaries was that? Of course, it's the most expensive ones. Do I want to risk this? Because the quality of troops of those brigands is way lower than my quality of troops. And so I probably don't need this, and I'll feel dumb if I do this and then they don't even get there in time and my guys win the battle. But I'll also feel dumb if I don't get them and then my guys lose the battle and needed the backup. So you know what? I'm expecting this might be a waste, but let's do it anyway just to see how it works. This is for your benefit. So, okay, so now we've hired a mercenary company. And I don't think they show up instantaneously. I think you wait for just a second. So where are they? Where are you, sir? Can I find you? Ah, they are here. Okay, that's not quite Waldbrand, but whatever. They're really far away. So I'm going to tell them to run up here as fast as they can. And in the meantime, I'm going to back my troops off to over here. I'm hoping that the enemy will consider my troops to be their primary target, and they won't just immediately start burning my stuff down. I'm hoping that they're like, okay, we have to defeat the troops, and then we burn the town down. And as long as I can lead them on a little bit of a merry chase with my troops, I'm hoping they won't do much damage. I mean, they might burn down my mining operation or something like that on the way in. It'll be interesting to see whether that happens. Okay, so SXO came in and said that actually, from what they've heard, Slavic Magic is planning on doing a console version of this at some point, but there's no specific timeline or exact plans tied to it. So, on one hand, I'm not surprised that they're going to give that a try, but it does sound like a really hard problem to solve. So, good luck to them. Here, let's speed up time to make this happen a little faster. How are we doing, mercenaries? Not great. Also, you're not really great mercenaries. I guess... So are they passing up the... It does look like they're passing up the chance to do some damage over here. So I'm going to keep backing off a little bit. And I'll try to bring my buddies over here. So ideally, if somebody's going to get killed doing this, I'd like for the mercenaries to be the ones to get killed, because they don't disband into my workers afterwards. And I really need to plant these fields. All right, let's speed it up again. Oh, they're going to just barely make it. Okay, let's just back up one more step. And then let's use these guys as, like, shock troops to come in and flank with. And then let's get these guys behind. Now, I don't remember. So I don't know if there's a button I can press. Oh, there we go. There is. Okay, this is one of the things that I was worried about when I was comparing it to Total War. I thought there wasn't a button I could press to see where everybody was going to stand. But there is a button I can press for that. Okay, so now we're sort of lining everybody up. Speed up time again. Oh, wait. Oh, they're breaking hard to the right. What are they doing? What they're trying to do, okay, I think they're partly avoiding these arrows, but they're also going to try to attack my weakest troops first, which is smart on their part, and also good for me because these are the brigands, these are the mercenaries. So, one thing I have not noticed is an arrow ever killing anyone in this game so far. Oh, wait, no, oh! They are coming around this way. Okay. Well, let's intercept them with our spears. Oh, nope. Oh, they thought they were going to be able to go after my archers. But then I moved my guys, and they're like, nope, never mind. And they're going after my brigands instead. Okay. Oh, they're splitting up. Oh, no, they're not. Oh, great. Perfect. Yeah, everybody attack my mercenary brigands. Awesome. And now we flank with my spears. But yeah, I have never noticed an archer killing literally anyone in this game. I suspect that what they're doing, I'm betting that each character has got hit points, and that what they're doing is whittling down their hit points, but they're just not killing people very often. But they are still softer targets once they hit my melee troops. That must be what's going on, because otherwise, I'm not sure why you would have archers, because I've never seen them, like, decimate troops on the ground the way that you see in, like, Total War, you know, where a volley of arrows will usually take out a handful of people. That doesn't seem to happen here. So Ryan J. McConnell came in and said that actually the archers are broken. Okay, so does that mean that they are literally doing nothing? Okay, so, we broke one of the units. The one that got the most flanked basically broke. These guys look like they're close to breaking. My guys are nowhere near breaking. And I've taken not a single loss from my mainline troops. And there we go. They've all broken. So that means it's time to disband my mercenaries. And they just freaking disappear, don't they? And so I only had to pay for them once. If I'd kept them another month, I would have had to pay for them twice. But I only had to pay for them once. So I've still got money to pay the next group. But we have successfully defended our town. So now, and just in time, because now it's March, we're getting real close to planting season. And how is it that I've got 16 living space but 17 people? Where are the other people living? That feels problematic. It makes me feel like I should build another house. Or maybe another handful of houses. So I'm going to road up this marketplace that hopefully will eventually have stuff in it. And I'm going to place some more houses here. And since I'm not planning on doing vegetable gardens, I can actually try to minimize the space for the backyards. Because everything that's not a vegetable garden doesn't care how much space it has. Oh, check it out. We've got people plowing, but they're not plowing as effectively as they could. I think I should full-time assign an ox to this farm. And now that I've assigned an ox to the farm, somebody should go grab an ox and start using the ox to plow. I'm not sure if anyone's going to do that because they might have all decided already that they already know what they're going to do, and that's plow by hand. But we'll see. We'll see if somebody goes out and grabs the ox at some point. Either way, you'll notice that they are just plowing these 2 fields. They're not plowing this one because this one is assigned to be fallow. So just the 2 fields that are assigned to wheat are getting plowed. And oh, here we go. We got the ox. I don't know exactly what his plan is. He's plowing kind of haphazardly. Whatever. Maybe this is how they did it. I don't know. Plowing like 2 sides and converging in the middle. Maybe that's how medieval people actually plowed their fields. But yeah, you see how much faster this one is going just with one person plowing it compared to the other one with all the different people plowing it at once. So definitely worth it. But this is part of this, you know, having an early access user experience. Finding where you assign that cow. Like I have actually, I played a town where I had assigned, you know, I put the sort of the ox plowing upgrade on all my farms, but I was just mystified no one was ever using an ox. And it's because I hadn't actually assigned the ox to the farm, which is done in the advanced tab, but not in the livestock tab. The livestock is just an accounting of which livestock is available, is used there, which in this case is Conrad the ox. But yeah, so I think that the game does have some user experience problems to solve, but you know, I kind of trust this developer with all the good things they've done here so far. I trust this developer to sort of figure those things out as they're working on the game and as they're getting feedback from players. I'm feeling like that's definitely not a reason not to play the game. By the way, look at the amount of login that has been going on here. Another advanced thing that you can do is decide where the work area is for a given thing. So for instance, without necessarily having to move my logging camp, I think that I can tell it, hey, go chop these trees down next. And I think it'll do that. I'm not sure it'll do that, but I think it'll do that. Oh, look, they're chopping something down over here already. They might have done that anyway. Because when you don't set a specific work area, they just get the closest tree each time, which is why it sort of expands in a radius. But yeah, we'll see if they actually chop down this whole section over here. Eventually, I should probably consider growing more trees. Oh, by the way, since the planting has already happened, one thing I could do is take people off the farm and assign them to other things. I accidentally clicked that. Oh, how are we doing with our... By the way, there's this resource called tools. I have no idea what it's for. How are we doing with iron, though? We're doing absolutely nothing with iron. Why? Oh, did the raiders scare people off the mining pit, or did I take people off the mining pit? I don't know. Let's start making more iron. Because what are these guys trying to make again? Spears. Now, one possibility is that they've actually been successfully making spears. And the way I would find that out is seeing if there are more spears available to these troops, and there are not. So what this is showing me is there are 35 people who are willing to carry a spear, but I only have 19 spears and 19 shields. And actually, if I want to get more shields, there's another thing I can build, which is called a joiner's workshop. However, that does occupy another person. So let's take somebody else out of the farm. Keep going. This is a pretty long episode, but there's just a lot going on, right? Like, it's kind of hard to pick a stopping point. I kind of, because, I mean, it's only April right now, but I kind of want to see this stuff harvested. So we do have these 3 new houses. And are they ready? We could also upgrade these houses. Get some more wealth coming out. Oh, this one can't. Not enough clothing or food for that one. What about this one? Not enough clothing, food, or fuel. Okay, so I think what we're starting to run into is these guys are far away enough from the market that I think they're having trouble finding it. But also, we just might not have enough stock in the market to keep up with them all. Oh, one thing. Oh, you know what? I never put back my berry foragers. So let's just take the farmhouse down to just a bare maintenance level. And let's start foraging some berries real quick to sort of replenish our food supplies. I think the hunting camp, what's it doing? The animals have replenished themselves enough that actually, let's split this between the hunting camp and the berries. So, yeah, we're not quite getting food yet from the fields, but so we need to keep shoring up our other sources of food. So all these vegetable gardens and the wheat should all pay off around the same time. Now, when it is time to harvest, there's a couple of extra things we're going to need that we should actually start building now. One of them is a windmill. So basically there's like several steps that we'd have to go through. First, it starts its life as wheat. Why can't I build this? Okay. It starts its life as wheat, but then it has to be threshed into grain. And that happens at the farmhouse. So it basically, as soon as the harvest season is done, people start threshing in the farmhouse. And so you have to keep people assigned to the farmhouse for that. That turns the wheat into grain. Grain is then turned into flour at the windmill. Find a good spot for the windmill. Want it to be relatively close to the farm, but not surrounded by trees. This is good. Well, actually, okay, we'll need the windmill, but we'll also need a communal oven where people will bake the flour into bread, basically. So put that there first, then this. Okay, but we need some families for construction work. Okay, is there something... Okay, maybe this doesn't have to go as fast as I've been making it go. So let's get some construction workers in here. So we just need basically by... Actually, kind of by winter, we need to have these two things built. Because, I mean, they need to not only harvest the grain, but also thresh the grain before the windmill can use it. So I think we'll be okay time-wise. And with the, we're still a fairly small village, so we don't need a lot of food. We got 16 months of food stored up. Now, these guys, they're still missing a clothing stall. So we've got a couple of clothing stalls that are selling leather and shoes. But for some reason, these guys can't figure out that they're there. That's the only problem this guy's having. This guy's having every problem. So luckily, this is a small marketplace. They've still got 2 free stall locations. This has no free stall. So once we've built enough stalls, they'll start automatically building stalls over here. But one thing you can technically do, I've never seen this actually work well. I've only tried it once and it didn't do anything. But I'm going to try it again. I can take this clothing stall and I can move it to be close to the people who can't find it. So I don't know if that will make a difference. But it was interesting when I found out I could do it. Now, right now they're storing nothing in it. It could be that now that I've moved the clothing stall, okay, they are storing stuff. I was going to say, maybe these people can find it, but maybe the people working at making the clothing won't find it. Oh, no, look, it solved the problem for that guy. So this guy is now leveling up because he got the clothing. This one hasn't found the clothing yet. So you can solve problems that way, but it is sketchy. And I wish that there was an easy way for me to diagnose this. Like, this guy can't find this stuff, but why? Like, I've got lots of foods and fuel in my food and fuel stalls. Why is that guy in particular unable to find it? And I wish there was something in the user experience that could, like, explain that to me and make it make sense. Okay, so Cog says that currently tools, he's done some research, says that tools are only used right now for trading. So that there was a point at which, oh, it looks like we left some shoes on the ground. Somebody should do something about that. Let's assign somebody else to work here. Maybe they'll clean up the mess. But yeah, that apparently tools were originally used for something, but the developer decided against it, and so now they're just to be sold. I wouldn't be surprised if, as this game develops, somebody, you know, basically, they find another way to use tools that eventually becomes useful. Because I could see, like, you know, tools seem like a thing you would need at the very beginning of the game, but they cost iron, and they require some serious industry in order to make them work. And so I can imagine it being a sort of a weird, frustrating pain point in the system. And so, but I could still imagine, like, as they add layers onto the progression, maybe there's a later point where having tools as a separate commodity does become useful again. It looks like our wheat is starting to look mature. Oh, new bandit camp. Where are you, bandit camp? Oh, back down where the first one was. That seems doable. By the way, we do not have very much iron on this land. We've already got halfway through our mining pit. So iron might be something we end up needing to buy later on. So anyway, let's do what we always do with bandit camps. And this will be a fun diversion while... Oh, another ruler's army was sighted. Is there somebody else going after the camp? Yes. Oh, we are going to beat them there, though. We're going to beat them there, and I think they're not going to do an end run around us the way we do around them. Though, you know what? I should probably try to hit them from the same side as the enemy, as my competitor, so that they can't do the end run. So we'll scoot across the terrain here. Okay, yeah, so the shoes that we left outside, because I can't... One thing that's tough is when something gets left outside for whatever reason, you can't actually... Oh, okay, it looks like it's gone now. You can't actually manually tell people to clean it up. They just have to want... They have to develop their own reason to want that thing and to go get it there. Yeah, still, this guy has not figured out where the clothing is. Got lots of clothing right next door to you. Do not know why you can't find it. At least you found enough food. Oh, well, anyway. Okay, we're getting close. Okay, so these guys are going to send somebody out in just a moment. And we're getting a nice big fight. There they are. You know what? No need to plan. Let's just clash. Wait, I don't have much of a numbers advantage, but I definitely have an equipment advantage and a training advantage. Yes. Busted him up. So now we go take the bandit camp. And let's take it for our treasury this time. Again, just in case the Baron comes after us and we need some mercenaries. So yeah, they went down there to get it, but they were slow. Okay. So it's July. So I think that September is when harvest season officially starts. And that's when I'm going to need to... So in August, I'm going to load this up with people. So that the moment harvest season starts, they can get out there and start harvesting. immediately, because the bad thing that can happen is you can sort of see there's 60 wheat here, 31 wheat there. That's a nice good harvest, but if winter hits before, okay, it's August now. If winter hits before you're done harvesting, that's it. You lose the rest of that food. And so you have to make sure that you got enough people assigned to get it all done. So, okay, so we don't need to forage anymore because that's run out. We probably don't actually even need to hunt anymore. Because these guys are running a hunting, like, stall, I kind of want to leave them there. And I think we've got enough extra people now. So let's basically devote about 6 people, six households to this. And then eventually, good, these 2 got built, so eventually we'll be able to use these. Okay, yeah, so now as soon as we roll over to September, and let's hope we get our spearmen back in that time. Yep. Yeah, you better run. Hopefully we get our spearmen back so that they can also help with the harvesting. Oh, hey, Comsbolt, thanks for joining me. Okay, so let's actually bring these guys all the way home. And let's drop them specifically on the farm in case that's where they're needed. There we go. Oh, somebody's sad. Yeah, these guys are sad that they can't find their stuff. There's just always one house where the people just cannot figure out where stuff is. Maybe after we get more food coming in, they'll be able to figure a few things out. I don't know. Okay, so we'll just get to September. And I'm not sure if they harvest the vegetables at the same time. We'll have to see. Isn't this game pretty, though? Actually, before we get into the actual harvest, I just want to enjoy how pretty this game is. So let's get this a nice shot of this windmill. I think this will probably be my thumbnail for this video. Basically this is a video about farming and arming people. Farming and arming. No, that's not clever enough. But yeah, so this is my little screenshot of the farm situation. So let's get out there and start thrashing. Start sickling, scything, thrashing. Oh, okay. There's the bell signifying the beginning of a new month. And here we are. 6 households of people show up to harvest every little scrap of wheat from these fields. And so you can see that here on my crops, the wheat is filling up. But that wheat isn't going to be useful until it's been threshed. So first they get all the wheat taken care of. Then they go home and they thresh. And I don't know, but I think they sometimes don't start threshing until like the next month. But they are replowing the fields. So I think that I'm actually not sure why they're replowing these 2 fields. Because aren't they going to switch up which fields they're using next time? I'm not sure. I'm not sure why they're replowing, actually. Unless they're going to be growing wheat in the winter, but I don't think that's a thing. They're just being prepared for the future, I guess. What I want to see is them threshing stuff. But one thing I wanted, so next session, so we are going to end this episode as soon as we've sort of gotten the goods from this harvest. But one thing I want to do to prepare for next session is, so we've got these level 2 burgage plots, the ones that can figure out where to find stuff. And they need to have a higher level church in order to level up to level 3. Level 3 is the highest level. They need a church and they need alcohol. And so that is something we could provide, but we need to start preparing now. Because, you know, the church is going to require clay. Do we? Whoa, clay deposits are way over here. Okay, so upgrading the church is going to require clay, I'm pretty sure. Let's have a look at it to be sure I'm right about that. Yeah, so it requires sawn planks, it requires stone, and it requires clay. So we've already got a stonecutter camp that we need. Saw pit. We should probably put someone in the saw pit because we've started running out of planks, which is probably impacting our ability to create... Oh, look at this. Why do we make small shields? What? Oh, I built a joiner's shop but forgot to tell them what kind of shields I need. I need large shields for my spearmen. Okay, well, they ate up all of my planks, making a bunch of small shields, which we'll use eventually, just not yet. So that was dumb of me. Always remember to pick, when you make an artisan, remember to pick what they're making. But have we been... We have not... Oh, okay, yeah. So my spearmen, I've got 27 spears now, but I only have 17 shields, and so I can't make any more than 17 spearmen. So now that we've switched... I don't think we need as many people here for the threshing. So now that we've switched that up, let's start sawing. And actually, actually, you know what? We're out of... Let's move this first. We're out of logs over here. So let's move the saw pit over to our actual... Where our actual logging camp is. So we'll build that. So we're going to try to get more boards coming in. More planks, I guess we're calling them. Get more planks coming in. We'll make more spears and hopefully have an actual bigger spear unit next time. So that's something we need to do. But the thing I was trying to get at was we need to have clay. So let's start building now a clay mine over here. Mining pit on top of this clay. Let's build a nice little road connecting this to the main road. So this is going to be far away and inconvenient, but whatever. And then we also need to be making barley. And so that is going to... I'm going to start making... for next year's growing season, I'm going to make a new set of fields that are devoted to that. So let's look at... So barley particularly is good in these areas. Flax is another thing that we'll probably want to make eventually. So we might actually alternate barley and flax in the same fields. So let's go here. And let's make our... barley fields. So let's do a barley field here. Let's do a barley field. Let's leave a little bit of space for, I don't know, houses or something over here. Let's do one there. And then let's do one here. Okay, so these are going to become my barley fields. So this one is going to be... Let's worry about flax later. So this is going to be barley all day and then fallow. This one is going to be barley the first year and then fallow the second year and then barley the third year. And then this one is going to start out fallow and then it's barley all day. So next spring, we're going to be planting not just wheat, but also barley. Which means, I mean, we're definitely going to want to have a lot of farmers. So let's make sure, let's just add a couple more burgage plots to make sure we got enough space for people. But let's go a little closer to the marketplace this time, because last time I didn't do that, some people got confused. So now... Oh, again, okay, so I can fit 3 families here with 3 extensions, or 4 families with 2 extensions. Let's go 4 families with 2 extensions. Because mostly what I want is workers. Okay, so they are plowing this. Let's have a look at our... Come on. Okay, they are starting to thresh the grain. So yeah, they've got 93 wheat in here. But you can see they're starting to turn it into grain. Now I wonder... Okay, I think it's because so many of them are out plowing this field for next year. they're not threshing because of that. Now I think you can actually mess with that. I think you can actually set threshing priority relative to field priority. Like, for instance, I think I could probably take this field priority down, make it low priority compared to threshing. And then everybody's going to go home and thresh. Maybe. Maybe that's how it works. I don't know. Nobody's doing it. What do I know? Now they're already starting to move in over here, so let's expand these to hold more people. Okay, everybody's come home to the farmhouse, right? You're all going to start threshing now? Yes! The threshing is happening. The threshing has begun. So now that they've started threshing, we could actually start the windmill right now. And actually, yeah, we can. We had a bunch of extra workers, so we absolutely can start the windmill right now. And so the windmill is now going to be taking in the threshed grain and turning it into flour. So you can see the grain is going up from the wheat, and then it's being turned into the flour. And then once we have enough flour, we can get some bakers going to turn the flour into bread. So it's 4 different stages. Well, 5 if you count being in the fields. So you got the field, which becomes wheat, which becomes grain, which becomes flour, which becomes bread. There are so many steps, and yet it's actually kind of intuitive and it works. So, like, it's got that sort of air of authenticity. And why did they plant wheat? I don't know. We'll see what happens. Anyway, it's got that air of authenticity to it, because you really are going through the process. But I haven't felt burdened by the number of steps here. Like, it seems fine. Okay, so we're now out of wheat, so I think I can probably take down the population of the farmhouse for right now. Not a lot of work to do right this second, which means that I can get more people baking bread. So you can see bread is entering my marketplace, but people are so excited about it, they're eating it immediately. So we haven't made enough of it. Okay, looks like we can now that we've added the extra house to these, we can level them up to level 2. I just want to get a nice pile of bread. Where's my bread? Yeah, okay, they made so much flour. What are you guys doing? Nothing? You just doing a bunch of nothing? Okay, you guys can at least make some boards. What's going on here, guys? There's plenty of flour. We need some bread. Why is no one working here? Everybody's hanging out at home, visiting their neighbors, wandering around. Oh, yay, somebody worked. Yes, okay, people are actually working here now. Okay, good. We're getting bread. We're getting some bread. People are eating it as fast as we're getting it, but we're getting some bread. Six, 5, okay. Okay, the bread is starting to outpace the rate at which people eat it. We're actually starting to store just a little bit of bread, and that's good. And look, we've got 14 honey as well. So we've got some nice food variety, which means over time, as the bread starts to really stock up, people are going to have enough food here, enough different kinds of food, that they're going to be ready to level up. So next episode, we got to worry about getting our church leveled up, and we got to worry about getting ale. But we've already started up. We've already plowed our barley fields, and we've already placed our clay mine. So we're ready to do that. Oh, and there's a bandit camp. Not that bandit camp. Where's this bandit camp? It's in about that same place. Well, you know what? Let's just remember that for next time, because it has been a while. We've been doing this for an hour and a half, so we should probably wrap this up. I mean, I've got stuff that I've got to do. It is a work day, but thank you all for coming here and hanging out with me. I really appreciate it. And this game is one of the, I mean, this game had a lot of hype going in. It was the most wishlisted game on Steam for a while. Probably less so now that people have bought it. But this game generated amazing hype. And so far, I've been really happy with the outcome. I mean, there's still a lot of work they need to do. This, you can tell there's a much deeper progression tree that they want to create for this game. And there's like hiccups here and there, lots of little bugs with, either people not being able to find stuff or legitimate problems that are just not communicated well to me, so that I don't know how to solve them. But like, this game is really, really fun, especially just on a tactile level, laying out these little medieval cities. It's so cool. So I'm really having a great time. So let's do another episode sometime in the future where we try to level things up with ale. Level things up with ale. It sounds like that's how, I don't know, that's where you go with a party or something, I guess. Anyway. Okay, let's wrap it up. There is a subscribe button and links to other videos. The next Manor Lords video will go there when it's ready, though by the time you watch this, I don't know if I'll have made it yet, so we will see.